You've started keeping a note, a private one, just for you whenever a thought about your hobby catches you off guard. Good! That's the hard part done. Today, I want to answer the question that note eventually asks you back. When does a private thought become a public post? There's one specific test I used to decide, and it saved me from hiding my biggest writing failure. And I'm going to show you exactly how it works. A while back, I spent a stretch of time building my own website, a whole separate little corner of the internet meant to showcase my writing and my editing work. Now, the details aren't the interesting bit. What is interesting is what happened afterwards. It didn't work. It wasn't necessary. All that time, all that effort went into a platform nobody needed, including me. And for a long while, that's exactly where it stayed. In my head, filed under things I'd rather not think about too hard. You might be thinking, well, that sounds like exactly the kind of thing you'd keep private forever. A failure, tucked away, never mentioned again. And for a while, that's more or less what I did with it. But here's what shifted. At some point, I realized other people were almost certainly about to make the same mistake I did. Chasing a platform because it looked official or professional or like the proper thing a real writer should have, when actually it was just eating up time that should have gone into the writing itself. And that's the moment. That's genuinely the whole test. Not, is this polished enough, or will this make me look good? Just, might this help someone else avoid what I went through? I used to think my mistakes were just baggage, but then I remembered a rule I've lived by. It feels like forever. I've had this personal mantra for years, going right back to my software development days, and it's carried through into my performing arts life as well. Those of us who can, should. If you've got knowledge, a lesson, a scar from a mistake you made, and somebody else is standing exactly where you were standing, you've got something like, look, it's almost like a duty to help them out. I'm going to tell you about the fear that very nearly stopped me from sharing that, and why that fear turned out to be completely backwards. Here's the thing. You might be sitting there thinking, that's easy for you to say. What if I share my private thing and it makes me look foolish? What if people read it and think, well, if that's the kind of mistake this person makes, why should I trust their advice? Why should I bother reading their newsletter? Why should I subscribe? I thought exactly that before I ever wrote a word about that website experience. But what actually happened was the opposite. People didn't think less of me for admitting I'd wasted my time on the wrong thing. They appreciated it, because most of them were either about to make the same mistake or were already knee deep in it themselves. And here was someone telling them the truth. Instead of pretending everything I touch turns out brilliantly the first time. Honesty about a stumble isn't a weakness in your writing. It's very often the exact thing that makes a reader trust you enough to keep reading. So here's your one action point. Go back to that note you started keeping after Monday's video. Read through it and ask yourself just once for each entry, might this help somebody else avoid what I went through or feel less alone in what they're going through right now? If the answer's yes, even a not quite sure yes, that's your sign. Not to publish it exactly as written, just to start shaping it into something someone else gets to read. Those of us who can, should, and now that includes you. If you're ready to get started, I've left a link to the New Writer bundle down in the description below. It's got newsletter prompts, written especially for hobby writers, templates for your first issue, and my actual Substack workflow. Everything I do to get a real newsletter written and published. And if you're wondering where all this started and how to actually get that first private note down in the first place, this video is exactly the place to go next. Thanks for watching, and as always, the very best of luck with your writing. Cheers.